Hello everyone, John Trigger 12 back here again with another video, and yes, it's time for another John Trigger 12's Top 5 Picks. Seeing as how this Friday debuts the release of X-Men Days of Future Past, I thought to start off the week, might as well just do a Top 5 X-Men video. And seeing as how I'm pretty sure just like the Godzilla week, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be doing your X-Men week, but I hope you do it responsibly in a sense of like reading up and on future stuff, because as we all know, in X-Men Days of Future Past takes on the storyline of the Sentinels and how they tried to overpower the mutants and then humanity in general. So I hope everybody tries to read up on that to have some basic info on them, and also of course read up on characters like Apocalypse, who will be featured in the sequel of X-Men Days of Future Past, because yes, 20th Century Fox has booked a sequel to Days of Future Past titled X-Men Apocalypse, which will be featuring this character who I like to consider like the dark side slash Thanos of the X-Men universe. So of course, read up on all that shit, play your video games, watch the TV shows, the cartoon shows, the movies, and of course enjoy the amazing team that is of course the mutant superheroes of the Marvel Universe, which is the X-Men. X-Men is of course created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Is a mutant alliance slash school slash team created by Professor Xavier, and of course has one of the greatest powers of all time, but also encourages young mutants to come together and use their powers for good instead of evil, like characters like Magneto and so forth. And of course, there's hundreds of thousands of great X-Men characters, but of course I narrowed it down to my top personal 5. So of course it's subjective. So of course in the comment section, give your own top 5 X-Men members. But let's get right down to it. Starting up number 5 has to go to Colossus. Colossus is just one of those really cool characters, kind of like Gambit, where like when I was a young kid back in the day, where I just loved looking at him. He just looked cool and badass. Like, he was just a badass cool character that like just visually was pleasing. Like, even if you didn't know what X-Men was before meeting like Wolverine and Xavier and Magneto and stuff, you look at Colossus, you're like, this is badass. This is like this dude who's wearing this really cool outfit and it's like made out of metal and just pounding the shit out of fucks. It's just badass, and I just love him. He's just a badass cool character. I still think he is yet to has his dues in the movie industry, like most X-Men characters. But I hope in future movies like Days of Future Past, he does like have more to do, unlike the previous sequels. But overall, Colossus is just a really badass, cool, physically strong, fully capable, powerful X-Men character, and he's also a great hero in his own right. But moving off of him, I guess I would give it up to probably Emma Frost. Emma Frost is just a really cool female member of the X-Men. She's kind of a villain. She starts off as kind of like a seducer. She kind of just uses her powers for her own right. She doesn't really care, but she does become part of the X-Men, and she is considered one of the more X-Men. She's like kind of like one of the most dangerous of the foes of the X-Men characters, but she does become a member and a leader in her own right. And she also has one of the coolest powers where she's fully capable of like transforming her body into like pure diamonds, and I just think that's really cool. And she also has the ability to use telepathy, like kind of like Jean Grey and Xavier, and she's just a really badass. And plus, come on, she just physically looks stunning. She's just visually a stunning female character, like most Marvel women, but she's just awesome and badass. Moving off of Emma Frost, number 4, going to number 3, I guess I would give it to Beast. Beast is just awesome, cool. He's just a visually cool, interesting character. He's had various stages of recreation through the years. He, like, in the beginning, he kind of starts off as like the Hulk, kind of like he's just like a gorilla version of like the Hulk, but then transforms into like the blue furry beast that we grow to know and love of today. And he's just like, he's also one of the founding members of the team, but he's also one of the most strongest and and most powerful of the members. You know, next to like characters like Wolverine, who's just physically capable of taking anybody, and he's also extremely smart, and he just looks cool. He's just like this really big blue creature. He's like Sullivan from the Monsters Inc. You know, he's just really cool and cute, and it's like kids can like him. He's just one of those mutants who just like kids can like him. You know, he's just awesome and badass. And I can't wait to see future stuff from Beast and future X-Men movies. He's just a really badass, cool character. But going off of number 3, going to number 2, I have to give it up to Rogue. Rogue is just badass, super chick. She starts off as a villain, and she's kind of different from most mutants because she likes to consider her power a curse, because it kind of is a curse. Like, she has the ability to, like, without her having the notion of stopping it, she absorbs and sometimes removes the ability of most mutants that she comes in contact with through physical contact. So she's obviously the hardest to get in touch with, but and plus she's the most gorgeous of all the female characters. I don't care, like, you can love your Jean Greys and your Storms, but Rogue does it for me. And plus I just love her accent. Like, you guys know, come on, the animated series, her Texas accent is just awesome. Just, I love it. But Rogue is just badass. I just love her abilities. She just physically looks awesome. She also has a really cool love interest with Gambit, which is another one of my favorite X-Men characters. He's just really fucking cool, and she's really awesome, so they really bounce back together really good. She's also had various other love interests in the X-Men mythos, but overall she really stands her own, and she has one of the coolest powers, and she just looks cool and does really badass stuff. Just personally one of my favorite X-Men characters. I don't really think she was presented the best way in the X-Men films, but hopefully in future stuff she definitely like is presented in her full extent. Like, I definitely prefer her in the comics and in the cartoons than I do in the movies. But overall, Rogue is just one of my personal favorite X-Men members of all time. But before I get you up to speed with my number 1 pick, which I'm sure everybody would consider cliche, here's some honorable mentions that I get on the list. Storm, Gambit, of course, Nightcrawler, Angel, Cyclops. I mean, I kind of don't like I used to like Cyclops when I was a kid, but like now I kind of consider him to be kind of a douche, like most comic book characters, because he is kind of a douche. I mean, like he practically does like every female character and like doesn't even care. He's kind of a douche. Then you have Iceman, Marvel Girl, Professor Xavier himself. He's just really badass and has one of the coolest powers. I guess you would consider Magneto, even though he's not a part of the team, he is like a big part of the X-Men mythos. So I would consider him Warpath. Let's see, another really cool, awesome character I really like. I guess that would be it. That's pretty much it. For one of my favorite X-Men characters, X-Men members, that is. But to top this top 5 off, I would have to give it to Wolverine for number 1. Number 1 goes to Wolverine. Just Wolverine is just a badass. Like, how do you not like X-Men and not like Wolverine? Wolverine is just a badass. Logan is the epitome of badassness in comics. There's characters in comics that were created and have donned a badass persona, but have yet to live up to it, you know. But there's characters like Batman and Wolverine who just stand to that level of like pure badassness, you know, that no one comes up to the level. There may be characters who are stronger than them, more powerful than them, maybe even smarter than them, but they are the most badass characters and ruthless and definitely know where to make the final decisions count, you know, because Wolverine, even though he a lot can take upon him, like his like physical nature or his healing factor or his his emotional feelings, depending on the specific environment and situation, he definitely knows how to fucking take care of business. And of course, same way like Batman definitely knows how to take care of any type of situation. And it's just just awesome. He's just really cool. It's like he's like really up there with like the logo of Marvel, alongside with like characters like Iron Man and Spider-Man and the Hulk. Wolverine's definitely right up there. And I really wish in the movies he would wear his cowl like he does in the comics. I still am waiting. I can't wait. I mean, like, I'm right there with crossed fingers. It's like, damn it, when is fucking Hugh Jackman gonna wear that cowl? I want to see it. But what can you do? But I just love his costume, his abilities. I love his healing factor, and the fact that he can basically recover from any type of wound, disease, or toxin that gets approached to his body. And he basically is young forever. You know, he's kind of like a vampire. He's just fucking young forever. I mean, like, he does age, but very, very, very fucking slowly. And plus, he's just a ruthless badass. I just love Wolverine. But that's it for my top 5 Wolverine. That's my top. That's gonna be it for my top 5 X-Men members. I'm pretty sure by the time the sequel comes, I'll do another top 5 X-Men. But I don't know really which one to do. Maybe I'll just do top 5 X-Men villains next time. But overall, that's gonna be it for this video. But any suggestions for X-Men Week, definitely go through with them and definitely suggest them to me. But overall, this has been very subjective. It's my personal thoughts on X-Men. And of course, I hope everyone is encouraged to not only comment in the comment section, but of course go into theaters to check out X-Men Days of Future Past. Definitely support the movie, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the best X-Men character movies. I don't know if it'll be better than First Class, which is one of my favorite X-Men movies, but I'm pretty sure with, you know, Wolverine and like Magneto and Charles like working together to fight these giant robot douchebags, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a badass movie. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and definitely give me your top 5 X-Men members. Thanks for watching.